The FA Cup final has arrived and we go into it in some good form, winning our last two games of the season. We're going to show the entire match, unedited footage, so I hope you're okay with that. But just before we do that, we are going to go through what's happened since you were last with me, as usual. So let's jump into how the league table ended. As you're already aware, then, we won the league, champions-elect from the get-go, winning the league with 107 points. It's actually Nottingham Forest who take the last automatic spot. They finished second with 98 points. A poor run of form for Ipswich in the last few weeks of the season saw them fall down as low as fourth, which means they're in the playoffs with Southampton, Sheffield United and Stoke City making up the final team in the playoffs. At the foot of the table then, whilst it was a battle, it was all too much for three teams: Wrexham, Blackburn Rovers and Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday may feel a little bit hard done by, having finished on 41 points and the same goal difference as Millwall. But Millwall managed to win more games, which means it's Sheffield Wednesday who go back down to League One. The playoffs are yet to happen, but this is what it looks like, and you can be sure I will update you before the end of the episode so we know who is the third team coming up with us. Personally, I'd quite like to see Southampton come up, but also, Sheffield United, Ipswich, Stoke, Southampton, they're all strong teams. Stoke would be hilarious, but for me personally, I'd like to see Southampton come back up. Now, the last bit of admin before we jump into the FA Cup final is our youth academy. Now, we have been scouting various places, and one of the players that we managed to sign into our youth academy is this man right here, Dauda Toure. He feels unbelievably good. He could probably walk into our squad right now as a very good CDM, and you can be sure he will be making some appearances in the senior team next season when we're in the Premier League. Another one also is Tekene. He is fast, lightning quick, and very quick feet. So, a couple of good youth prospects coming through. And as you can see, if we scroll very quickly down the list, we have a lot of good potential talent coming through the ranks. I lied. There is one final bit more admin. I've been looking around trying to figure out how I can make this game more fun, not only for viewers, but also for myself to play. And I stumbled across a YouTuber called Cutsy. He's been playing FIFA for about as long as I have. So this is what he recommends as the most realistic sliders, but also the sliders that should make the game more fun and not have a team like Hull City pass the ball around like Barcelona, but never try to shoot. We've used it in the past two games, but both of those games were against Huddersfield and Cardiff, both sort of lower level of the table to mid-table. So realistically, this is our first big test today against a team that we should struggle against. We're not going to change any tactics for it for us personally, just the sliders. And as you can see, I'll do a quick look through. I'll also leave a link in the description to the video that I found from Cutsy himself. So if you fancy having a look, he goes through it a lot slower than I will, but it just looks like that. Let's have a look at the starting 11 that's going to face Arsenal in the FA Cup final. And this is the starting 11. You all know it by now. Kelleher in goal, a back four of Cochrane, Clara, Hilgers and Laird, a midfield three of Iwata, Bellingham and Ho taking back his spot as he returns from injury. Ogbene out right, Poku out left and Stansfield leading the line up top. Arconte still out through injury, but should be back in the next week or two. I know it's the end of the season, but it's good that he'll be back for the start of our Premier League campaign. Let's jump into it. Let's hopefully grab the trophy that's always eluded us, and let's hopefully beat Premier League opposition.
At long last, the wait is over. A warm welcome to Wembley. This is Derek Ray, joined in the commentary box by Stuart Robson, and we're approaching kick-off time in what promises to be a spectacular FA Cup final. It's Arsenal, and they take on Birmingham City.
Well, Derek, as a youngster growing up, this was the day that every young footballer dreamt of. Playing in the FA Cup final, walking out in front of 100,000 fans at Wembley, broadcast around the world, it still brings a tingle to my spine. And I'm really looking forward to this one.
Well, you never quite know who's going to emerge from the shadows and become a match winner, but this man might be a decent shout. What are you expecting to see from him, Stuart?
Well, Derek, what a performance it was for him last time out. Those 3 goals were absolutely outstanding. But it was his general performance that I admired, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of him today.
And this is the Arsenal starting 11.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the wingers play today. Will they stay high and wide? Will they come in field and support the centre forward? And how deep will they come out of possession? They're going to be key to this formation.
Here's the lineup for Birmingham City.
Well, it's the same formation, but they use it to press the ball high up the field. And rarely do the wide players drop deep to defend. And watch out for the midfield 3 who continually rotate their positions.
Here we go then. The FA Cup final underway. Interesting to see the Arsenal lineup. A few players that, you know, aren't usually in that squad. The centre-backs, to say the least. And a couple of players on the bench as well. So Frimpong on the bench. Surprising that he's not starting, actually. I'm curious as to how this game is going to play. Like I say, we have changed the sliders. So Arsenal should be less about passing the ball around. And Stansfield has a chance here, but just beaten in the air. I'd love to know where Saliba and Gabriel are. They're trying to move that ball quickly, Arsenal. Laird is there to win the header, and Hilgers is there. Hilgers, by the way, terrific run of form in the build-up to the end of the season and to this game as he steps in there to stop Martinelli. Plays it back to Ho. Here's Stansfield. What can he do? Laird already tiring from running up and down this wing, which isn't what you want to see, but it's much needed. We're going to play it backwards and try and draw Arsenal out a little bit ourselves. Try that chip ball through. It's a big header. Can we win this one? It's a battle. I think we've somehow managed to come away with the ball. Ogbene trying to get the better of his man. Stansfield winning the header. Ho with the header. Stansfield, big save, David Raya. A lot of pressure from us at the minute. I'm hoping that these sliders are the right style of sliders for us to make this game harder. Ball into the middle. We win the header unmarked. Or Saka, I think, was the person that lost, I want to say, Iwata with the header. But nothing doing. We managed to stop that very quickly. Here's a chance for Poku. Arsenal get players back fast. Ho plays out wide to Laird. Laird skips past his man. Should have gone down for the pen. It's deflected. Rudiger just about manages. I think he took it off of David Raya, to be fair. Zinchenko plays out really well there. Here's Henriksen over to Martinelli. A chance for Arsenal maybe to get forward. Quick feet from Martinelli. He is faster, we know that. Clara sliding in. And again Clara sliding in. He does make the foul on the second occasion. Martinelli was clever there. Almost bought the foul. He jumped it. Had a look up. Saw that there was nobody in the box. He gets a yellow card for that, Clara. We need to be careful of this referee if he's booking us this early. Just missed the ball, Clara. Wanted to stop Martinelli in his tracks, and now it's a free kick in a dangerous position. It's been cleared away only as far as, I want to say, Rudiger on the edge of the box. Here's Saka now. Saka with the shot. Pushed over the bar by Kelleher. Odegaard's going to take the corner for Arsenal. Going to mark this front post where Kelleher comes to punch it. I didn't call for Kelleher to come and punch that. He did that on his own volition. Looks like they're going to take the short this time. Saka up against Ho. Ho comes out on top. So smart how he does that. Ho uses his body really well. Kelleher plays a great ball out to Cochrane, and now we have the chance to break. Poku can't skip past Ben White, and actually It was a heavy challenge, and now it's Saka plays the ball. Fantastic ball inside, and Havertz hits the bar.
Well, I thought that was in, Derek. He struck it so sweetly.
I thought that Kelleher might have had it covered. Hilger's backed off, waiting for the pass across, which, in fairness, probably was the right thing to do. Ho finding Laird. We need to catch Arsenal out, similarly to how we caught Chelsea out, but hopefully it won't take us 89 minutes to do that. Laird up against Zinchenko. Zinchenko stands his ground cleverly. Ogbene trying to win it back, and did for a moment before being tackled. It's good. Offside there, Saka. Held our line well. It's been an intense 25 minutes. Here's Poku, backing off him. Drops a shoulder, beats Ben White, gets the shot off. Straight at David Raya. Big kick out again, looking for Martinelli. Laird will win that all day, every day. Arsenal, remember, are the team that Birmingham beat in the League Cup final back in the day. Was in our original intro for this series, Birmingham lifting that League Cup. But the FA Cup, as I said, is a trophy that's always eluded us. Made it to the final twice, beaten on both occasions. Hopefully this time we won't be, as Ogbene tries a shot. That's over the bar. We're moving the ball well now. We're less scared of Arsenal, despite the chances that they've had. They will look to play short. Rudiger. Never thought we'd see him in an Arsenal kit after his Chelsea days. And Pau Torres leaving Villa. That's a mistake there, I want to say, by Henriksen. Ogbene does really well to hold up the ball for Laird. Not once, not twice. Twice it's deflected out. We get the corner. We're going to let Cochrane try and swing another one in. And hopefully we can win the header this time. Maybe with Hilgers up against Henriksen. Up against, in the end, it wasn't Henriksen. It was Rudiger. We're never going to beat Rudiger in the air. Here's Poku taking on Saka and now Ben White. What can he do? Trying to spin him, instead lays it back. It's Bellingham, edge of the box. Big save, David Raya. We're more in this game than Arsenal would want us to be. Another big save, David Raya. A mistake at the back. Our pressing is working at the minute. Let's try one of these, an outswinger. Trying to put that deep. Can we play that back across? We can't. It falls into the hands of David Raya. Despite our chances, I don't really remember Stansfield having much to do this game. He hasn't had many chances. It's been more about Ogbene pressing Zinchenko. Surprising that they've gone with Zinchenko when they've got Frimpong and Timber on their bench. But hey, I'm not the Arsenal manager. Ho sends Henriksen for a hot dog. He's going to line one up from distance. Just over the bar. I thought that was nestling top bins, back from injury in the last game. Ho managed to play 60 minutes of the last game of the season, shooting towards the Birmingham fans here at Wembley.
Well, I think they've played really
That
well
just
today.
wasn't enough. As you can see in the top left corner, optimised by Optastats, shots. We've had 5, Arsenal have only had 1. Maybe that's shots in general as opposed to shots on target, because I think Arsenal may have had a couple of shots that were off target. Glera slides in, can't get there, and as quickly as that, Arsenal score. I think it's a big goal kick. We were too busy looking at the stats in the top left to commentate on the goal itself. I think it was a big goal kick, flicked on. Kai Havertz, faster than Clara, faster than Hilgers. And when he's one-on-one with Kelleher, you sort of back him to score. Clara just needed another half second and he would have got there, maybe blocked that shot. But as it is, 45 minutes, right on the stroke of half-time, Arsenal have got a goal against the run of play, you have to say. But that might kick them into gear and push them on. Job can't make the challenge. Clara can't make the challenge. It's Havertz through again. Tries his tricky feet. This time Kelleher makes the save. That was vital, because if we go in 2-0, we still might. We do! Kelleher with a huge save and then a huge mistake. Oh, it's all falling apart. Henriksen runs over to Timber to celebrate. It's all fallen apart, and you have to say it's against the run of play. For 42 minutes. We've been the better side here. We've had shots, we've had chances.
Well, here it is
but we
again,
haven't been
and I don't
clinical.
expect keepers to say
It's quick
everything
feet.
near post.
I don't know what Clare is doing there, and Kelleher as well, after making that great save to push it out. He really should be saving that. That's woeful goalkeeping, you have to say. The ref calls for half-time. We're 2-0 down. It's a disappointing half. We might have to make some changes. Half-time 2-0. Kai Havertz and Henriksen with the goals. Clare are not having his best game, booked early on. Something has to change. What is it that needs to change, though? That's the question. Laird is tiring. We'll give Laird another 15 and then we'll bring on Greaves. Hopefully within that 15 we can get a goal back and make this a little bit more interesting. Poku going forward. Pressed by Benincha. Ogbene lays it down to Laird. Tries to play that back inside. Just doesn't work out. Did win it back for a brief moment, and now Ogbene wins it back. Stansfield tries to hold off Rudiger and does. It's Laird, it's Ogbene. Oh, and Stansfield, where is he running? You want him to run realistically through the middle there. He doesn't. Cochrane wins the header. It's a huge battle with Saka there. And then it's Ogbene with the shot, and Raya makes the save. We realistically need to get closer if we're going to beat Raya today. I don't think we're beating him from distance. Cochrane jumping for the header again. This time doesn't win it. Havertz through to Odegaard. Big challenge there from Iwata. Ho through to Ogbene. Don't want to panic here. There is still plenty of time, but we do need a goal. Is Laird up against Henriksen. Still Laird. Big save from Raya again, and they nod it back to him. It's huge by the Arsenal keeper. Martinelli up against Hilgers. Hilgers with an emphatic challenge. None of that silly skill moves against him. Clare it might work with. Big interception there from Iwata. Over to Hilgers. Oh, and Hilgers makes a mistake trying to give that to Laird. Clara slides in. Is he offside? I think they just offside. We're going to make some changes. It is going to be Laird that comes off. Hilgers with a mistake there as Laird. He was trying to play it to Laird. It didn't go to Laird. We're also going to bring on Para. Feels harsh to take off these wingers, but changes are needed. Bielik deserves a chance, so Iwata's going to come off for him. This may be Bielik's last game for the club. Player that captained us throughout League One, had a career-changing injury towards the end of that campaign, really, and never really got going again, certainly not at centre-back, and it's an even harder position at DM, so he may be looking to move on, but a man that might be the future of this club is this man here, Greaves. As he lays it back, it's cleared off the line, and now it's Bellingham and blocked again. It's great running by Greaves. Stansfield, back to Greaves again. Stansfield lays that in. Shot from Para, and this time it's blocked again. You have to say one thing for Arsenal. They do get men behind the ball, and they break with such efficiency before we can even get close to them. It's Saka up against Clara. Saka tries to curl one. Kelleher wasn't worried. I think that's another change that needs to happen. I think Sanderson for Clara. Clara hasn't had his best day at the office today. Arguably that both of the goals that we've conceded were his fault. Bielik plays that one. Just trying to move the ball here, and Bellingham is just crowded out. They bring on Tomiyasu for
Martinelli.
Zinchenko.
Now, Rabiot.
And then they move the ball so well, so quickly. Martinelli up against Hilgers. You can imagine he's going to try some skill moves. He doesn't. He tries to put it in early, which means that we can deal with it. Something that we're quite good at dealing with is those early crosses. But look how many people Arsenal have got behind the ball. Bielik running and taking it as far as he can. Finding Cochrane, who in turn finds Stansfield. First touch just lets him down. Needed a good first touch there. Cochrane tries to win the ball back off of White. Doesn't happen. Sanderson steps across Saka. It's fantastic defending. For a man that's had to come in and find the pace of the game rather quickly, that is great defending. Here's Cochrane. Beats Saka. Finding Bellingham. Tries to move that ball down. Ogbene just doesn't look like he wants to be involved at the minute, which is a shame because he had such a good first half. Kai Havertz, Sanderson deals with that very well again. Sanderson, again, another player that could be leaving the club at the end of this season. Well, after this game, really. Greaves finds Ho. Back to Greaves again. What can Greaves do here? Finds Stansfield, who finds Bellingham. Bellingham with the shot. Ogbene's offside. Realistically, we would have preferred that to go out for a corner. Massively offside, Ogbene. Arsenal could just play out here. We reached the final 12 minutes of this game. Didn't expect to win it. Would have liked a goal. We might still get a goal. That's through to Stansfield, who's offside as well. He tests Raya. It's not going to matter because he's offside.
Tomiyasu.
Well, this has been, I want to say, a difficult game. I hope it's been entertaining for you guys, because Arsenal have certainly had their chances as Hilgers brings down. I think that's a very soft red card. I think, as is ever the case, I mean, he is behind him a little bit. Is behind Rabiot a little bit, but I think, as is ever the case, the referees do tend to favour the Premier League sides. We're going to bring Leonard on for the last few minutes. We're also going to bring... We can't bring Taylor on now because of that red card. It's something that I wanted to do, but it's not going to happen. Off comes Ho. He's done his best coming back from injury. Leonard comes on and deserves his spot, to be fair. Probably deserves a bit more than 9 minutes. That's a header. It's good hands from Kelleher. We can play out now to Para, but it's a poor throw actually from Kelleher. So tries that ball through. I think he was offside, but we win the ball anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Leonard is fouled there from Rabiot. If we're red carded for that one, he should be red carded for that. He's not. He only gets a yellow.
And a yellow card for that, Stuart.
And he's going to have to be careful now. That was
Greaves finds Bielik. In turn finds Leonard. Tries to play that ball inside, and he didn't need to. He could have carried on running. The foul off the ball there.
It is a free kick.
Bene gets a booking. I think he just wanted revenge for the foul that occurred. It's Greaves up against Martinelli. Backs off, tries to get a foot in, doesn't work out. Rabiot cuts back, plays it to Odegaard. Havertz plays that ball through. Saka, 3-0. It's a great goal, and we can't get close to it. It gives me hope, actually, guys. I know we're 3-0 down, but we were never meant to make it to the FA Cup final. And the fact that, you know, we've come into this game, we've played well, we had our chances, 43 minutes. We were the better side. It's Greaves that keeps Saka on side. But for 43 minutes, we were the better side, and then Havertz scored, and then 2-0 before half-time. We've managed to keep them out for nearly another half. But, yeah, we've been massively, massively off today. We try that ball through. It's Ogbene. It's a big save from Raya. And then he dives on the ball before Ogbene can get it out of his feet. That's a big kick through to Saka, who is offside. Bellingham, final few seconds of play then. If you've stuck with it for this long, thank you very much. Next episode will be a season review. Stansfield just can't get that ball out of his feet. The referee should be blowing the whistle anytime soon as Sanderson makes a foul. It is a free kick. They choose to take it quickly. The referee's letting them play. Sanderson trying his best to catch up to Rabiot. Can't do it. Kelleher makes the save. Saka up against Cochrane. Cochrane wins and clears it. And there is that full-time whistle. We do lose to Arsenal. It's a red card that possibly shouldn't have been a red card. It's 2 goals that maybe we should have been stronger at defending. As you can see there, 2 in the 45th minute is absolutely woeful. But, as I say, guys, it gives me hope that this career mode, this series can continue, because if we can't beat Arsenal, you know, for 40 minutes. We tried and we couldn't score, and then they've gone and scored 3-0. That makes it feel a realistic game. And shout out to Cutsy, who I was a bit iffy going into it. I was a bit iffy going into those 2 games against Cardiff and Huddersfield, because we were totally dominant. But when you look at the squad that we've built and you look at the form that we've been in, we should be dominant against mid-table to lower table championship sides. But against a team like Arsenal, fighting for the Premier League title, in a match that we never should have been in, 3-0, I think that's a pretty fair score. Let's take a look at the Premier League table. We usually do this in a season review, but I can't help myself. I need to know who and where Arsenal finished and who won the Premier League. Let's have a look at that now. Well, I didn't get to show you this last season because of when it happened, but we are champions of the Championship. We do get an open bus tour. It's a shame there's no FA Cup on there. Once again, it's a trophy that eludes us. Now runner-up 4 times, twice in our history and twice in just this series. Back-to-back FA Cup finals, but back-to-back FA Cup final losses. Even so, happy as champions, and we move into this Premier League season, hopefully aiming to stay up. But as I say then, I can't help myself. I need to see what the Premier League table looks like. And it looks like this, apparently. Manchester City top with 1 game to go, 1 point clear of Chelsea. Arsenal have 2 games to go, so they can finish as high as 4th, which, you know, providing Spurs lose their last game of the season, could be huge for them. They've won the FA Cup, but, you know, they'd love to finish above their rivals. Looking down at the relegation zones, looking at this side, you can see Leeds are relegated, Norwich are relegated. Alfie May could not keep Norwich in the Premier League, and Burnley still fighting for their Premier League lives. They need a win and to hope that Everton lose on the final day of the season. Let's have a look at what the playoffs look like. Who's going to be coming up with us? Well, unfortunately, guys, I can't see anything in terms of, I can't look at our league table now that technically our season is over. The only thing I've managed to find is a bit of news that says Ipswich beat Sheffield United in a score that ended 3-2. I'm hoping that might be the final, which means Ipswich have come up with us. If that is the case, then fair play. You know, they were second for a very, very long time and probably deserved to come up, which pains me to say as a Norwich City fan. But if that is the case, fair play. I guess that'll be it for this episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, guys, please do leave a big thumbs up on the video. It really does help me. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to build a community, as I say, and hopefully, as this episode will prove, we're trying to build a community so that we can have the best career mode going possible on YouTube. So make sure you share the video with any fans of FC, FIFA, anyone that might like a career mode series. Please do feel free to share the video. As I say, subscribe if you're new. It really does help. Comment down below. Building a community means that I value your guys' opinion. We're going into a Premier League season. Who needs to go? What needs to change? I'm personally thinking of going to a 3-5-2, which may mean that we get rid of Cochrane, we get rid of Laird, Bielik might be leaving the club, and Poku and Ogbene become wing backs instead of forward attacking wingers. It's going to be a difficult change and hopefully a difficult season. We should not be going into the Premier League aiming to finish in the top 4. We should be fighting every game to get 3 points, and hopefully that will happen. But as I say, if you have enjoyed, please do leave a thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you're new, and thank you very much for watching.